This is how my schedule goes. Sunday, vlog. Monday, gaming. Tuesday, nothing. Wednesday, gaming. Thursday, top 5. Friday, gaming. Saturdays, vlogs. That's my friggin' schedule. Remember to like on Facebook and all that, and I'll talk to you guys later. Number 5, Ed Gein. Though Ed Gein only confessed to 2 murders and does not fit in the typical definition of serial killer, his horrific acts have made him the inspiration for countless horror stories, including Norman Bates from Psycho, Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and James Gubb from The Silence of the Hills. Gein lived in Wisconsin with his mother and his brother. He was suspected of murdering his brother, but the police could not prove it. After his mother died, Gein began visiting the local cemeteries, digging up bodies of middle-aged women who he thought resembled his mother, and assembling a woman suit out of their skin. Eventually, he killed 2 local women, and when the police came to his home to investigate, they found body parts everywhere. Police discovered human noses, vulva, skulls into bulls, skin masks, human heads in sacks, lamps and chairs upholstered in human flesh, organs in the refrigerator, in a belt made of human nipples. Number 4. Gary Ridgway. Known as a Green River Killer, Gary Ridgway strangled at least 71 women in Washington state during the 80s and 90s. His first 5 victims were discovered in the Green River, which is how he earned his nickname, the Green River Killer. He was finally arrested after DNA evidence linked him to several missing women, and he took to a plea bargain to avoid the death penalty. In exchange, Ridgway agreed to disclose the location of all of his victims' bodies. Ridgway would pick up prostitutes and run away, earn their trust by showing them a photo of his son, then strangle them either with his bare hands. He would often return to the bodies to have sex with them or arrange them in various poses, despite having an IQ of only 82. Ridgway managed to avoid being caught for over a decade until he was finally caught in November of 2001. Ridgway is still alive and is serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole. Number 3. Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy was a good-looking guy and seemed very friendly and charming. However, behind his handsome face lurked the twisted mind of a serial killer. In between the years of 74 and 78, Bundy kidnapped and murdered 30 young women in the U.S. Those were just the women we know of. Experts agreed that he could have been responsible for up to 40 disappearances and murders to which he didn't confess. To lure in his victims, Bundy would often pretend to be disabled or would pose as an authority figure. Other times he would simply break into the victims' homes and bundle on them to death as they slept. After killing them, he would rape, torture, and dismember them, often keeping souvenirs like their heads in his apartment for months at a time. After a thrilling police chase, Bundy was finally arrested and brought to justice in 1979 and was killed in the electric chair in 1989 in Stark, Florida. Number 2. Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer is one of the most scariest serial killers in U.S. history. Over the course of 13 years, Dahmer murdered 17 men and boys. Worse yet, his murders involved rape, dismemberment, necrophilia, and cannibalism. Despite the fact of several of Dahmer's victims managed to escape, he was not caught until one victim ran into the street and flagged down a police car. Once inside his apartment, police made a series of disturbing discoveries. Dahmer had been trying to create a mindless sex slave by drilling into the skulls of his living victims when they died. Dahmer would perform grotesque acts on the bodies, including sexual assault, in some cases eating pieces of them. Dahmer was eventually caught and brought to justice on November 28th, 1994, and he was beaten to death by a fellow inmate at the Columbia Correctional Institution where he had been incarcerated. Number 1. John Wayne Gacy, or Pogo the Clown, or the Killer Clown. John Gacy is also referred to as the Killer Clown. He was a husband and father, but he was also a repeated sex offender who victimized countless people during his lifetime. He was caught sexually assaulting two teenage boys in 1968 and was sentenced to 10 years in jail. But due to his exemplary behavior as an inmate, he was released on parole after just serving 18 months. Once he was released from jail, Gacy briefly remarried. Then they divorced when he was secretly gay, and became a popular juvenile member of society. He enjoyed dressing up as pogo clowns and volunteering at children's parties, parades, and other community gatherings. He was respected as a businessman and well liked by his neighbors. During the 6 years between the time he got out of jail, he was finally arrested again for suspicion of kidnapping. Gacy murdered an astounding 33 young men. He buried most of his bodies in the crawl space of his house in his yard, and later, when he started to run out of space, he had dumped them in a nearby river. He would lure hitchhikers, male prostitutes, and other young men and boys into his car or his home, and torture, rape, and murder them. After he was arrested, the police found bones in his basement. Gary issued a full confession, was executed in 1994. An idea for a top 5 list? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next Thursday with a brand new top 5. Thank you, and subscribe.